Let my people go.
The slaves are mine. Their lives are mine. All that they own is mine. I do not know your God, nor will I let Israel go.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? Men shall be ruled by law, not by the will of other men.
Who is this God that I should let your people go?
Aaron, cast down my staff before Pharaoh, that he may see the power of God. In this you shall know that the Lord is God.
Mother! Mother! He turned his staff into a cobra.
Nothing of his will harm you, my son.
The power of your God is a cheap magician's trick. Janice.
Mother, look!
Janice, do you see?
Moses' serpent swallows up the others.
Alright, welcome to Operation End Times. I'm your Jedi warrior for Jesus, Bent Hellestead. Happy New Year and God bless to any and all people watching, all my subscribers, all my friends, all my sisters and brothers in the body. 2013 is upon us. You know, I will say, you know, I've been very careful on my channel because I pray to God all the time, and I feel like God drops things on me all the time. But that being said, I am very careful not to just go flinging stuff out there. God said this, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. But you know, I'm gonna put something out there, and I've actually kind of already done it, but I'm just gonna do it. You know, another brother's channel that I watch, I think his name is Fred Martinez, but I just liked his one video that he just put up. But he had a vision, and he was basically saying God's gonna come gather up the redeemed. And in his video, he quoted Isaiah 35. He referenced it. But Isaiah 35 is pretty powerful, you know. Talks about the wilderness and the solitary place will be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice, and the blossom and blossom as the rose. You know, that the dry places will springs of water, living water will spring forth. But that's kind of what I have to throw out there, because that's what God's putting on me. Is you know, Brother Fred in his video, he calls it the gathering, being gathered up by the shepherd. You know, it's not the rapture. You know, it's not floating up into the air, but it's coming out. You know, the gathering up There's two ways to look at everything, like if you're looking through a pipe, there's one end and the other end. So it's the Lord gathering up his elect, his redeemed, those that follow him. But it's also the coming out of Babylon, because where's he gathering us from? And that's what God's been putting on me, Exodus 13, in 2013. And for some reason, like the April time frame, Easter is kind of out there. But I believe, Exodus 13 is going to be the greatest single event of my lifetime. The absolute test of faith for those who say that they follow Jesus. Because when the trumpet sounds and the call is made, will you go? And, I'll tell you, my friends, in the Bible, there's a lot of fire and destruction that comes. Everybody thinks, the end of the world didn't happen. The Mayan 1221 came and went. Hey, so what? They made a stone calendar that they chiseled in stone, but you know what? All the distortion about the world ending, that wasn't chiseled in stone. But, there most likely is a lot of destruction coming, because that's the nature of the dark side. And even God, if he so chooses, could, send some stuff, not on those that believe in God. It's more dark stuff on the people that aren't walking with God. Kind of like in the movie The Ten Commandments, the 7 plagues, I think it was, to prove a point, to reveal his glory and his power. Moses said, check this out. Let me show you the power of God. But Jesus, that's what he's saying to Satan right now. Let my people go. And I'll tell you what, he's not asking. He's telling them. And he's going to take them by force, because the sad truth is most of us are, trapped in a web, a snare, But that's going to be the glory of 2013. But it starts with an exodus, a coming out of Babylon. And, that's where you got to be prepared mentally, spiritually. I've been talking about it for a long time. But, unlike the children of Israel, when they came out of Egypt, they were told to ransack Egypt and take all their gold. You know what? That wasn't a good thing. And that's not what's going to happen this time. When the Exodus happens, forget about grabbing your gold or your silver or ransacking anybody, In fact, it's almost the exact opposite. It's going to be, pack light, a couple days clothes, and probably, I'll use this crazy thing, unleavened bread, maybe like a tortillas, flour tortillas, because it stores better, because you can't really carry 100 loaves of Wonder Bread, and they don't even make this stuff no more, If you want Wonder Bread, manna, eat the body of Christ, But, it's kind of putting my neck out there, but I'm going to go with it because everything in me, I know God's talking to me, and he's kind of confirmed it several ways, and I know it's just absolutely mind-blowing. But Exodus 2013, my friends. But, what I was going to say is plenty of times in the Bible, whether it was the flood or Sodom and Gomorrah, God always takes care of his own, builds an ark or tells Lot to run out of the city to flee, And, that's a little bit of what's going on here is, when the destruction comes, because it's Satan himself wiping everybody out, doing all that slaughtering, which happens in Isaiah 34, But God will protect his own, and just be ready and don't hesitate, and don't look back, But, other than that, I'm a happy camper, it's glorious, there are beautiful things happening on many levels. So, I could say Happy New Year, but I think it's more like Happy New Eternity, because 13 is a transitional, it's the end of one age, the beginning of the kingdom age, and it's a year of tremendous transformation, transfiguration, and people are either going to go one way, up, on a spiritual level, or are they going to go down on a carnal, bestial destruction level? Because that is where the dark side leads to, its destruction. I've been talking about the battle of the kingdoms. The thing about Satan's kingdom, he sets it up to look good. Like, it isn't this dark, creepy thing, even though there's a lot of dark creepiness in there, that's what you find out, is that all from top to bottom is all sorts of wickedness, because that's how the dark side works, is it's sheep's in wolves' clothing, people walking around, pretending to be one thing and then being another thing. But if you're just looking at it from a macro level, he tries to set it up to look just like the kingdom of God. Only the difference is it's fear that kind of pours down. That's what Satan is. He's a god of fear. He wants you to fear and love him. And it's actually not possible, because you just end up fearing him. But because in the end, when he comes to destroy you, because that's where he's headed, it's pretty scary, But, he tries to set things up, his kingdom with laws and, playing God, So, he wants to kind of bring order out of chaos, because that's how he envisions himself being God, But, the true God, God the Father, the creator God who created everything that we have, no matter how hard Satan tries to copy him, it can't be done. He's the fake. So that's what you got to be able to do. Right eye, left eye. You got to be able to see what's real and what's fake. And, the world we're living in, 2013, look at, our Congress and President Obama. They just passed something where they're raising everybody's taxes. They're not solving anything. And my friends, the truth is, it's a spiral, man. The dark side is taking over the world and wants to enslave us all. Because that's what the kingdom of Satan ends up being, even though he'll promise all sorts of stuff like everybody will be equal. Equal in poverty, equal in slavery and bondage. And that's why Jesus is saying, let my people go, Because, if you haven't realized it, slowly but surely, we are going into bondage, Even here in the United States, but around the world it's a lot darker and a lot meaner, places like Syria or China or Venezuela or wherever, man. It's the elite, the powers and principalities and high places that are just trying to build the world according to their design, to their egos, and it's all doomed to fail and to come tumbling down. So, my friends, once again, be prepared. The Mayan 12/21 date may have come and gone, but that was all a big distortion field anyway. The truth, which is God's kingdom coming, that's still marching on. The saints are marching on. So anyway, God's blessings to each and every one of you. The first 2 days of this year have been absolutely glorious, all praise to God. And, if you haven't found the truth, if you haven't found Jesus Christ, now is the time to start marching the way. Because that's what Isaiah 35 tells us, is it's out in the wilderness when we become totally dependent on God, and He's providing everything. A highway of holiness opens up that takes us home, baby. So to the kingdom, eternity, to be with our Father and to be with our King. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. 2013, lucky 13. All right, God bless.